So what's going on here is that a big lie, fake scholarship, fake history. Now I want to pivot to the issue of race, which I've touched upon, because that's the second area of the big lie. As you know, over the past couple of years, lots of people rampaging through the South, pulling down Confederate monuments, down with Robert E. Lee. Now, Robert E. Lee opposed slavery. Robert E. Lee opposed secession. Robert E. Lee fought for the South because he knew that the war was going to come to his home state of Virginia. He was essentially a state patriot. You can agree with him or disagree with him on that. But the fact is, he's not the bad guy of slavery, as Abraham Lincoln knew full well. If Abraham Lincoln thought he was, would he have offered him the supreme command of the Union Army? No. Abraham Lincoln named the 4 bad guys of slavery. And notice that this is not something that is in the textbook either. Lincoln named them. Number 1, Roger Taney, the author of the Dred Scott decision, from Maryland. Lincoln counts that as the South. Franklin Pierce, the former president, from New Hampshire, Northern Democrat. James Buchanan, the sitting president, from Pennsylvania, Northern Democrat. Stephen Douglas from Illinois, Northern Democrat. So 3 of the 4 are Northern Democrats. But notice that the progressives today aren't pulling down. Stephen Douglas has a big statue in Chicago. No one's touched it. No Antifa raids, no Black Lives Matter. Why? Because if you pull down Stephen Douglas's statue, you're blowing the whistle on the fact that the real criminals of slavery wasn't the South. It was actually the Northern Democrats in league with the Southern Democrats. They were in it together. To hide this fact, you have to pick a third man, Robert E. Lee, and pin the blame on him. It's an effort to move the blame for slavery from the Democratic Party, where it belongs, onto the South. This is a big lie. Abraham Lincoln was a liberal. Another big lie. Abraham Lincoln never in his life called himself a liberal. He's certainly not a progressive. That term came into currency later. What Lincoln did call himself was a conservative. And he did it repeatedly. Read his speeches. At one point, Lincoln's brother asked him for a loan. Lincoln goes, "Not happening." He goes, "The reason you want a loan is you're too lazy to work." Lincoln goes, "Go get a job. Get paid $20 a month. And I know you're going to think it's not enough. So, okay, you go get to work. You get $20 a month. And for every $20 a month that you earn, I'll give you another 20. And that's going to show you the value of work so you don't get into debt again." Does this sound like a liberal? By the way, Lincoln's not raiding the state to do this. He's giving money out of his own funds. So Lincoln was through and through a conservative. And we see this more profoundly if we look at Lincoln's philosophy. Lincoln says that the essence of slavery is this: you work, I eat. That's the meaning of slavery according to Lincoln. And Lincoln says this notion, notice that for Lincoln, slavery isn't just racial, it's theft. One guy works, another guy appropriates his labor. And for Lincoln, this is the credo of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is based on theft. And Lincoln says, now here's what we Republicans stand for. The hand that makes the corn has the right to put the corn into its own mouth. In other words, people have a right to keep the fruit of their own labor. Now think about it. This is said over 150 years ago. And yet I submit it is no less true today. What is the basic idea of the Republican Party? People get to keep their stuff. Keep the fruits of your own labor. What's the basic idea of the Democratic Party? You work, I eat.